Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of PNP's Den of Antiquities. Today we're going to be doing podcast number 2, and I'm going to be calling this series Star Wars Perspectives because I'm getting everybody's perspective on Star Wars. Today I'm joined by my buddy Frank, and we're going to go right into it, man. We're gonna have some fun.
Sounds good.
So my first question to you is really, what got you into fantasy?
Well, I read for a few years, and I realized every book I read sucked. And I thought the best books were, or the only good ones, were about, like, not anything that ever happens modern day. Because I think the world nowadays is pretty boring, unless it's, like, cowboy books or anything like that.
Right.
But, I don't know, I just had to have some kind of a different world, you know, an escape, I guess.
I feel you. I'm the same way about Star Wars, so I feel that. So what kind of got you into Star Wars? Do you have like a first memorable Star Wars experience that you can think back to?
I have been watching Star Wars forever, so it's kind of hard to think back for. I do, probably the earliest Star Wars memory I have is in my mom's van. She had like this CD player,
Nice.
and it was, we always watched this episode 6 and episode 3, like on repeat for
Classics.
every road trip. So
Classics.
yeah, that's probably my earliest memory with Star Wars.
Yeah, I feel that. I it always bugs me because I don't remember like when I got into Star Wars. I even prefaced it with the first video that.
Oh yeah, I saw.
Yeah, I was like born a fan. That's what I like to say because like
Born a fan.
It makes me butthurt that I don't remember. But yeah, really mine I think was the going to see episode 3 with my grandpa, man.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, we'd go to the dollar store and go get all the candy
Oh,
and then like tape
yeah.
it to us and stuff. So, but yeah, it was a good time. Let's see what else we got. How does Star Wars compare to like I know you're a big Lord of the Rings fan. Like, how would you compare those two?
They are actually a lot more similar than everyone would think. So, when you think about Star Wars, you think sci-fi, Lord of the Rings, fantasy, right? Star Wars could be argued that it's kind of straddles the line between sci-fi and fantasy. And Lord of the Rings is just, fantasy. But the main similarity is that you got a main protagonist, at least in the original trilogy and Lord of the Rings, who lives with an uncle. He gets picked up by a random wizard guy who is kind of a family-ish friend, gives him some kind of magic weapon, whether it's the ring or the lightsaber, and he kind of gets whisked away from his home. I would say never to come back because Lord of the Rings, spoiler, they do go back. But, nothing's different afterwards. Now, and they also fight a Dark Lord and all that sort of thing. But it's really more similar than you'd think. And Star Wars, the main thing why I don't consider it like traditional sci-fi, I guess, it's because sci-fi, at least nowadays, might have been a 70s thing or whatever, but sci-fi always over-explains itself. It tries to say, hey, this is that, and it tries to give you a bunch of cool technologies that do some very interesting technological stuff. Now, sure, Star Wars has that. I mean, they have the Death Star. That's the biggest one, I guess. And they have the lightsaber. But to me, like, Lord of the Rings had, like, magic swords, too. Lightsaber is George Lucas said laser sword. So
Right.
it's pretty much, it's like the same. So
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't realize how much now that you say that,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wow, that's so funny. But like, I didn't realize that the uncle and the
Yeah.
wizard.
No,
So
it's the same thing.
I was like, what the heck? I was like, doing that chick when like all the numbers come down. I'm just like, while you're talking.
It's the same thing, man. And why also Star Wars, it never really clicked to me either until I heard George Lucas say like, oh, space wizards and all that. I'm like, dude, I never thought of it that way. But yes, they are space wizards,
Yeah,
Jedi.
100%.
And Sith too. But the main thing is, the drop off for me is they don't make a big deal about the vehicles. They don't make a big deal about the planets. They don't make a big deal about a lot of the species. They're kind of just a thing. In sci-fi, traditionally, they usually dive into everything with like precision and detail. In Star Wars, it's like, yeah, we have the Force, but that's just that.
It's more. I would call it more loose storytelling than like.
Yeah.
It's kind of like whereas you have like Star Trek, and that's more like focused on like how everything's done, and it's more calculated and. Like, kinda
Star
goes
Trek
in
is
depth.
like it's showing Starfleet the process and all this, that. It's how it works, how you could teleport, how you could do this. Star Wars, it just gives it to you. You could reformat Star Wars easily into fantasy. There's hands down, mainly because of the Force, I think.
Yeah, well, I think too. It's like one thing George Lucas understood really well was like the hero's journey, and like with Joseph Campbell and all that stuff, like going through the, and you see a lot of these like Harry Potter, Lords of the Ring, like they all Star Wars, they go through these like these character developments where you start off with this young boy or girl who basically gets called to this adventure that they didn't really expect that they were gonna, and I think it's all sunshine and rainbows, and then they get trials and tribulations, and I think that's one thing that the hero's journey mixed with like the loose storytelling made it really easy for people to get into. Yeah, it's like very like you're not being thrown all this like I remember you were talking about The Witcher and how The Witcher just throws.
Oh yeah, man! Don't get me started about The Witcher. A lot of y'all might hate me for that, but The Witcher is not good. The game is good. I need to get into the game more, but The Witcher is not good. Sorry.
I just want to say that's his opinion. He said that, not me. Don't come commenting. Hey, you guys suck or anything like that. Don't
need
say
that I suck. I don't care. I'll stand by my opinion.
Funny. So, what if you had to pick one thing about Star Wars? Like for me, I think my favorite thing about Star Wars is the Force. What's your one thing that's like I think like that calls you to Star Wars, like your favorite thing about it? Well, it can also be the Force too. Yeah. Like you don't have to be like, oh, I don't want to take from you.
That's an interesting question. The Force is pretty much like it. They literally say it binds everything together. Yeah. So that's like literally the point of Star Wars is the Force.
Right.
If not the Force, then I'd say kind of the union between planets is, or like the orders, of course, the Jedi Order. But I guess you could argue that that's the Force. I'd say the other big thing though would probably be the Galactic Empire. That's the next biggest thing, big picture.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I'd probably agree with you that the Force is like literally they do everything through the Force, and you could argue that the plot was steered by the Force and how people made decisions and whatnot.
Well, I think that's what George. There's a whole bunch of different things of like what George wanted to do for the sequel trilogy, but that was one of the big rumors is that he was going to go into like what are called like the Wills, like they're like the guardians of like they basically essentially are the Force, and they're telling the story of Star Wars through that.
Was it those guys from the Clone Wars with the Yoda, that one episode where Yoda gets like
they have like the mask and that kind of glow,
and they're like the happy sad. Okay,
dude, I forgot, dude. There's so much Clone Wars, I forgot about that, but that was cool because I think you see Sifo Dyas in that episode too. They kind of like show Yoda.
Yeah, I think they did show Sifo Dyas. They did at some point.
All the different stuff. But all right, let's go. What else we got? I got so many questions to ask you. Yeah, let's go into movie rankings next. That'll be a fun one.
Okay.
I know it's good, and we can just stick because there's a lot. You can add like Solo and Rogue One in there if you want to, but let's just stick with like episode 1 to episode 9. Okay. And you can throw Solo in. Rogue One in there if you want to, but no pressure.
Okay, so let's get the worst off the table first.
Right, so
the worst two.
So we're going from best to worst or worst to best?
Worst to best. Let's go to worst to best. Okay. Because that one is a lot easier to decide. I think everyone agrees with me when they say that Last Jedi sucked.
Oh, hey now. This is
I did not like it.
These are not what dreams are made of. No, I'm just kidding. But
it had potential. I had to watch it like 3 times before I relatively enjoyed it. But in the movie theater, I was just like, no, when Luke Skywalker kind of became a jerk. But,
crusty old hermit.
Yeah, he just threw like the family heirloom. That really got me. But it was just also boring. But I did like in Last Jedi how they gave a new look for Rey, because like every movie the protagonist or the other characters, they're supposed to get kind of a new look. Like Luke in episode 6, he like was wearing the black and the glove, and so Rey, she got a new look by the end of the movie, but that was all thrown out the window for the next one. But I liked where he was going with that, at least.
I think the one thing that was really because like I'm kind of on the same boat as you. Like this, I always say like the the sequel trilogies didn't really speak as much to me as like the other ones. I mean, and that's okay. Like, there's so much Star Wars nowadays. Like, there's gonna be stuff you don't like, obviously.
Oh yeah.
But I do think like in the sequel trilogies, like what I said in the other videos, is like there's little nuggets in like I think each movie that are like that's kind of what I try to cling on to and hold on to. I try to, because I think people get really negative about like, you know, they don't like this. It's just like they just write off the like it's garbage. Like screw Rey, screw Snoke, screw and like I'm more of like what I think is like, you know, to each their own. Everybody has their own opinion, but I think you can still focus, like still not like something, but focus on some of the more positive stuff that you did like. So like for instance, I really like the scene when she's like actually training with Luke and they like touch the stone and it shows like the Force. That scene like really spoke to me as the viewer, because I think for me personally, the 1 through 6, I felt like, obviously because it was George's vision, you understood what the Force was. Like you knew, even though it was some made up thing, you kind of felt like, oh wow, like I feel the Force. And I feel like 7 through 9 didn't capture that as well, but I felt like Rian Johnson in that scene, because like there's like, as much as I don't like Last Jedi, I think it was a beautifully shot movie. Like some of the pans and cinematics were like very nice.
There's no arguing that. And they had like another good shot in that movie that everyone freaked out in the movie theater for, at least, or was confused by, but it was a good confusion, was when the chick with the purple hair, I forgot her name. Yeah. She gets the ship and rams into the
I get
giant,
chills every time I see that.
But the cool part being in the movie theater for it is they just shut off the audio and everyone's like looking around like, okay, did something break? But no, it's like that was awesome.
Well, it's because they added real, like, obviously like there's no sounds in space or anything like that. And in Star Wars throws all that out the window. There's explosions and stuff like that. But they kind of made it real. Like when it hit, like everything went like boom. And then you know, so like they kind of made it more real. So I think that's why what made it confusing is because Star Wars doesn't do that normally.
And I thought that that chick, she was kind of annoying at first, but that was what they were trying to do. I thought she was, despite what a lot of other people say, I thought she was a really good character. How they kind of flipped that she was doing exactly what Leia would have done.
Yeah, I think
in that episode.
I want to say the actress name is Laura Dern.
Yeah, she played in Jurassic Park, didn't she?
Yeah, she
was awesome. I loved her in Jurassic Park, so it was kind of hard for me to hate her, but I thought her character was well written. I will say that.
Oh yeah. And man, I really like because like one thing I wish they kind of hint through it throughout the movies, but like this is kind of going into 9, but how they're a Force dyad. Like they're like two who are one.
That was awesome. That was really good.
And that I really think that because they did that scene at the end, like while that scene definitely has flaws, like if you go back and watch it and slow-mo it down, there's a lot of flaws. It makes that scene that much cooler because they're essentially just like one person, but like they're like two through the Force. They're like one person, but they're like two people, and they're like hacking all the Imperial or the Royal Guards. And I don't know if they're Imperial because it's First Order. Oh,
the
guards.
Praetorian knockoffs.
Yeah. But I actually really liked those designs too. I liked how they went more like traditional, like samurai-esque. They had very
different weapons and everything. I thought that fight scene was cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like I said, like there's some weapons missing in some scenes. Like the guy who has two, like in one of the scenes, like he's fighting Rey, and then he has her like this, and then magically he doesn't have one anymore. He only has one. And I'm just like, oh, come on, guys, you can't.
Yeah,
you can't miss
everyone dogged that scene for bad choreography. But if you don't look at it that hard,
that's what I'm saying. Like, if you kind of take a more like you're not just like analyzing and like being sweaty about it. That's what I like to call it. Being sweaty, then you can actually really enjoy that scene, and it's really cool.
Yeah. I still did enjoy that movie. It was when they went on the weapons planet and that whole thing, and just jumping around the red salt planet didn't really get me either. I just wanted to see like what was going on with Luke and Rey the entire time.
Right. So I have a question for you about that. What did you think about Luke coming in and the basically him being like a hollow Force projection? What did you think about that?
The hollow. Because
in the Last Jedi,
on
like
the planet,
because he wasn't like we've never seen that like ever in Star Wars. We've never seen that ability before.
I think every Star Wars movie has to stay good and keep you guessing by giving you a new Force ability with every movie. No one saw Force lightning until the Episode 6. Like you didn't know that was a thing until Palpatine did it, and it was like, whoa! And
Super
then,
cool, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Force projection thing was Last Jedi's thing, and there's about 1,000 others if you really break it down. Force healing, that was that one movie is like, oh, I didn't know that the Force could do this, if you haven't watched a lot of the other stuff.
You see that a lot in like video games.
Yeah.
They have a lot of Force heal. Well,
Yeah,
obviously, because
you
like
knew
that's the way
was
to
around,
heal.
but like the Force projection stuff, I like it when they take something and then kind of move with it. So like in episode 4 when it was 5 when he got the Force ghost, huh? When you first saw Obi-Wan as a Force ghost, was that 5 or 4?
Yeah, so because in 4 you
just hear him,
right? But in
yeah,
5 because he appears, he tells Luke to go to Dagobah.
Yeah.
When he's like in the snow, and then he sees when he's about to leave for Bespin.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan appears.
That was that episode's thing.
Yeah.
So like each episode in like it was episode 3. Their thing was Darth Plagueis' ability, or they were at least talking about it. But I mean, every episode tries to reveal something new about the Force that you didn't know. So I thought it was fitting. It was a little bit different, but it wasn't a bad difference.
For sure.
And the cool thing about the Force is you got to keep guessing, like, what's the abilities? I think in fantasy they call that like kind of a soft magic style. So like in other fantasy worlds, like Mistborn, you know exactly what that magic can do. Pretty much like 99%. There might be like that 1% that you don't know, but it's like math. Like you know exactly the limits. But for the Force, you know about 50% of what it could do.
Well, I think it's cool because like each person, like I think that's what makes it kind of real. As like in life, like everybody has like different abilities and like different like levels.
Yeah.
And that's what I think. I think there is a cap, obviously. Like there at some point, there's got to be a cap because then your story's just broken. But I really like that everybody kind of has like, for instance, like Obi-Wan is technically not strong.
Yeah.
He's like not like he's like an average Jedi, like compared to like the levels of everybody else. But he got really good at. I'm so bad with like the defense forms. I want to say it's Form 4, and it's a defense form.
Yeah.
He got he practiced the basics like nonstop. Like Qui-Gon had him only practice the basics, and because of that, he was like this phenomenal Jedi. That's why he was able to fight off Grievous and Dooku and all these really powerful and Maul, and it's because he had those basic fundamentals, and I think that's kind of, it says something about like even if you're not like a super talented individual, there's still like you can still learn like the basics of like whatever craft you want and still be really good because you know the fundamentals,
Yeah.
And I think that says something that's really cool. All right, so let's get back on the mark just a little bit. So that was your first one, was episode 8, The Last Jedi. So what would be the next one for you?
Second one I dislike the most would probably be Attack of the Clones.
Fair.
I did like a lot of the stuff in that movie, and I mean, it's hard for me to say. I might go back and rewatch episode 4 and say that I know a lot of people, you are going to dislike me, but episode 4 had a slow start, and if you've seen it before, you don't need all the build up because you know exactly what's going on. So for that reason, I mean, I could switch them, but I think episode 2 was really my second least favorite. I did love the battle scene with what was that green thing? It looked like a praying mantis. I wanted that action figure so bad as a kid.
It's like I don't know how. It starts with an A. I don't know. It's like Avon. Avon or Uven. I don't know. But
the roar sounded awesome. Yeah. It was like, dude, it was the craziest roar.
Every time I see that, because there's so many memes about like Australians when they go out to like get their mail, and it's like Obi-Wan fighting the thing.
Padme's outfit was awesome. How she became kind of this bad.
All her outfits. I guarantee you, half the budget was her outfits throughout. Like,
if
you go through like episode 1 to 3, she changes in like every scene.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like, what? Like, dude, who? Like, first off, who has the time for that?
Yeah.
Like, and second, like, dang man, like. But I wanted to go back to like kind of talk about the what you were saying, how like it was lower on your ranking. It was kind of lower on mine too. But one thing I think that really helped was the Clone Wars. I think it gave more depth to all the characters. So when I went back and watched 2,
Oh,
it
yeah.
like all the characters had like Padme's way more badass in the TV show than she is in the movies. Like she's like shooting droids, and then like you see kind of more of Anakin's turn and all that stuff. So it kind of gives him a little bit more. But no, I agree with you. Like literally, like Attack of the Clones. Like as a kid, like I loved it growing up, and then like once I got more into like understanding plot and storyline and all that stuff, it kind of went further down my list. But really, the last like 30 minutes of like when they're basically when they go to Geonosis, onward is like the good stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. In the end battle scene with all the lightsabers and Jedi, it was awesome. It was really good.
Yeah, so really the last like 30 minutes on Geonosis is really what like gets me now. I mean, I can just watch that little snippet of like basically Anakin and Padme going, or I guess Kenobi goes first, but like really that whole from there on, it's what makes it.
I mean, everyone's favorite thing, like I said earlier, was all the Jedi showing up in the crowd for the arena, and that's really what like every Star Wars fan wanted, like a giant lightsaber battle. I mean, what's cooler than that? So
shout out to my man, R.I.P. Coleman Trevor. He got 86 by Django real quick, but
oh yeah.
He's the dinosaur looking dude that like hops on Count Dooku's like, really, bro? And then he's just so
yeah. Oh, do you know so many of the Star Wars names? That's the guy with the weird back thing?
Yeah, he's basically
yeah.
I mean, I forget what dinosaur that is, but he literally looks like they took like the head of a dinosaur.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Bronchiosaurus or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna front like I know dinosaurs.
It sounds very scientific. I know what you're talking about. I could look it up later, but no, he did. I haven't seen that movie in a while. I should probably rewatch that. But also, I was thinking, I'm going to revise one of my statements. Episode 4 was not my third least favorite. It was probably Force Awakens. But that's probably tied for Episode 4, that one.
No, okay.
So, revising a little bit, kind of doing this on the fly, sorry. But
that's all good.
Force Awakens was very similar to Episode 4, which is bad and good. But I thought it's really good for starting out a new trilogy. It had potential, so.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's still good, entertaining, well-rounded, all of them.
But yeah, and then the fight with Dooku and Yoda still gets me. I mean, I remember seeing, because I think I was like in 3rd or 4th grade, and I went to see it with like one of my good friends back in the day, and dude, me sitting there being like 7, 8 years old, I was like,
well, because no one's seen Yoda fight, and then like Yoda comes out, and you're like, oh, he about to do it? Yeah. So it's like,
also,
man.
Also, too, Count Dooku, I feel like is really underrated.
Oh yeah, he's I would say he's probably my favorite Sith, honestly.
Yeah, he's really cool. He's really cool.
He was awesome.
All right, so that's your second, right? Second.
Yeah, so that was the second, and then
9, I guess, would be.
Yeah, and then 9, and then 4. So 9, my main thing was it was a copy and paste over of Episode 4. So that's what I didn't like.
You mean 7?
7, sorry.
7. Sorry, I was throwing numbers out.
No. Episode 7, Force Awakens.
Yeah.
So that was a copy and paste of Episode 4, A New Hope. That's what I thought. However, and that would have been fine to a certain extent if Episode 6 wasn't the exact same thing that we hadn't already seen in Episode 4. Giant battle star thing, Death Star, Star Killer, whatever you want to call it, where they have to find a certain way to blow it up. And that's the entire movie. If they would have had another weapon, like the Final Order, that was a little bit better in my opinion, because it was just that much different. Still planet-killing ships, but not like mega giant planet/moon base. So that was my big thing. It was still cool though. Definitely cool.
One thing that stuck out for me for Force Awakens is that I had such high hopes for like all of these characters. I thought like Rey was really cool. I know you haven't played the video games, but like Finn was essentially like a black Kyle Katarn, and in the video games, Kyle Katarn's a stormtrooper who turns into be like a Jedi.
Oh, is he bad though?
No, he's from like Jedi Academy or something like that. He trains with like Luke and like starts the temple and all that stuff. Dude, and he's just so cool, and I thought they were basically going to take that storyline and like kind of give it to Finn.
Well, they kind of teased in the movie, because they gave him the lightsaber. That would have been really cool if he was like another kind of Jedi in training by Rey or something.
Yeah.
When she kind of hit her thing.
What I thought they should have done is I think after Force Awakens, I think they should have done like a little bit of a time hop, not much of one, but like enough to where he's healed because he got his back all messed up.
Yeah.
And I think he should have went with Rey and trained to be a Jedi, because what I think could have been really cool, you could have had Rey pitted against Kylo Ren. You could have had Finn pitted against Phasma and made Phasma that much more of a badass character if she could hold her own against a Jedi.
Yeah.
And then have Luke go up against Snoke, or not even have Luke go up against, if you don't want Luke, like, because I get it, you gotta kind of hand, like, it can't be Luke's story, it's Rey's story.
Yeah, exactly.
So you gotta hand off. So even if he's just training, like, I'd be more fine with that. But I was really hoping that we would see more of Finn's Jedi-ness, because that's what he wanted to say in number 9, is that he was Force sensitive.
Yeah, I'll get to that once we
once we get
but,
to 9.
Dude, sure. That was one of my main problems with that movie. But we'll get to that soon.
Let's hop back to Force Awakens.
Force Awakens, Starkiller Base, of course it was a nod to the alternative Skywalker name. Awesome. It looked cool. But it was basically the Death Star again.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I think that was cool, and sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, is that they don't say that, but Starkiller Base is Ilum. They go get all the Jedi crystals, which I really felt like they could have added one line in there to say that.
Yeah, they could have.
And it would have made it that much cooler. But what did you think about them killing off Han Solo?
I thought that was a really good decision because
I agree.
You can't just keep recycling characters. That doesn't make for a good story. I mean, they definitely should have cameos, but you don't have to kill all of them off, like Lando in the last one. That was a really good recycle because he still would have been around, of course, as like a rebel or whatever. But I mean, you got to do something with those previous characters.
I think it really helped further Kylo Ren, Ben. I felt like it helped his story so much more of him like killing his dad. I felt like that was the right way, because like I think Harrison Ford said he wanted to die in Return of the Jedi, and there was really no need for him to.
Yeah.
But I like that. I think in the next one, I think it really helped Kylo Ren's. It made him a lot more of a darker character, that he killed his father. You know.
And that was some of the only character development that Rey got. That was Han Solo dying, because they had like a connection from the get-go, and then she flipped out, and that was almost her call to the dark side at that point. So if she would ever be turned, it was be probably then, until you get to like episode 9. But that was what kind of a good character needs. You know, you need a little bit of internal conflict.
And the novel is, now I haven't read the novelization. This is what I've heard from YouTube and all that stuff. When he's like, oh, you need a teacher. He's like, I can teach you the ways of the Force. And then she like goes like ham. Like she heard a voice inside her head that was like, kill him. Like talking. And apparently it was Snoke saying like, kill him. Like do it. And like her call to the dark side, that's what brought that into my head.
Yeah,
it's like, because she really does get tested.
Yeah, she goes crazy.
I wish they would have added that in there. Then like have Snoke's voice like really low, like nothing, like just kill him. Like you know how Palpatine's like, do it.
Kill him.
Like that. I think it would have added way more to. But that scene in the snow and them fighting was so cool.
I thought it was a lot better than people said, but then again, people said episode 1 was not good when they first saw it. Now everyone worships episode 1.
Episode 1's great.
Yeah. I mean, I do too. I loved
Jar Jar swag. I don't know if you guys can see that. I got the.
I did not like Jar Jar though. I will say that. I liked.
You and big doo doo this time.
Oh, you and big doo doo.
Don't you be talking about my Darth side boy like that.
I liked him in the end though. But I guess we'll get to that. I totally forgot about episode 1 in my ranking. My ranking is going to be all off, but I guess we're going individually here. But yeah, no, episode...
So you got Last Jedi, Attack of the Clones.
Episode 7 was good.
And episode 7.
Okay, so yeah, Last Jedi was the worst, in my opinion. Then Attack of the Clones. Then episode 7. Then 4. No. Then 1, then 4. I gotta honor the original trilogy. But I don't know. I'm going to put them as the same, okay? I do like episode 1 a lot. I'm gonna put them on the matching.
So it goes 7, then like 1 and 4?
Yeah, 7, then 1 and 4 together, okay? So we're putting these in the same ranking. Number one, I love the underwater fish scene. Like, there's always a bigger fish. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Qui-Gon is the coolest Jedi. I mean, Obi-Wan is awesome, but Qui-Gon, the coolest. Without a doubt. Don't get me started on Qui-Gon. However, towards the end, it gets kind of, with the child actor, I mean, I realize you needed a young Anakin. It gets cheesy a little bit, so that's why I kind of disliked it at times. And then the pod racing stuff went a little long.
What, bro? You going to dog the pod racing?
It was good, but it shouldn't have taken up that big of a chunk of the movie.
I want a whole TV show just on pod racing.
Oh, no. Pod racing is cool. Okay. Pod racing is cool. Don't get me wrong. I love the pod racing Nintendo 64 video game.
That was great.
I played that all the time. The pod racers look awesome, especially Sebulba's.
Sebulba.
That was awesome. Tatooine, going back, a little redundant, but, I mean, that kind of adds some history in there.
For sure.
But I liked a lot of the history. I just thought the pod racing, that could have been, instead of what was it, like 30 or 40 minutes? It was like the first half of the movie. It could have been cut down, probably half. But it was still cool. On Naboo, that was awesome. I don't know. It kind of lacked, like it was leading up to something. To me, I mean, we all know.
Darth Maul.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so Darth Maul, that got thrown out the window for the actual movies, but not for Clone Wars, which is awesome. But it felt, I don't know, it just didn't have that certain je ne sais quoi of the others. But that's the only reason, and I can't make a decision for it, so that's why I'm not gonna say any more about that, because it was really good. I liked it. Especially those underwater creatures in Naboo.
Yeah, the Gungans.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, you're
no,
talking about
like the bigger fish.
Yeah.
Oh, the Gungans were cool too. Oh, and the final battle, that was cool. On the Naboo side, because that looked like
that's been copied though by other
movies. In Endgame or in Infinity War.
Like it's been, and there's another one too that I was thinking about. I was like, dang, I was like, this is literally like Phantom Menace. I mean, I'm not complaining because that's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not complaining at all. It's kind of funny how that's.
It was very different though, and that kind of set up the whole Clone Wars stuff with all the droids. The droids were awesome. Episode 1 felt to me completely different from every other Star Wars movie. Probably because of the style of Naboo, but it was good. I liked it.
No, Naboo's awesome, man.
Yeah,
it's really great.
So after that, I guess I matched episode 4 with that one. Just like I said earlier,
they can flip flop. They can flip flop for those places.
It just depends what kind of mood I'm in, I guess. But
I feel
episode 4, it was the start, so they had to explain a lot of stuff. But of course, I could go on about everything I liked about episode 4 1,000 times over.
Yeah. It's just a classic, man. Like that's the number one thing that people say is that it's slow, but I mean, I think it kind of needed that to start. Like the hero's journey starts off slow. I mean, it's not like and like one of my only griefs with that movie is I don't like that the destruction of Alderaan is never brought up after that scene where they blow it up.
Yeah,
like Leia does. Like Luke's like, oh no, Ben, and I understand like that's the hero's journey. It's not Leia's story, it's Luke's story. So but they could have thrown in something to like where like Leia's hurting too about like her whole planet, her family, like everything she's grown up is erased, and it's not mentioned ever again.
Yeah.
So that's really my only grief with it.
It was really just a startup. But I mean, after that, it was pretty good.
Oh, it's great, yeah. It's classic.
I mean, it's always good.
Yeah.
A little slow though. But I mean, that's because I've seen Star Wars 1,000 times, and I'm like, come on, we already know this. Like, you don't have to explain. But like when he met like Ben Kenobi out in the jungling wastes or whatever, that was awesome. Yeah. There are some who call me Obi-Wan. Or whatever he said. Anyway,
49 times we fought that.
Oh my gosh, I love that song so much.
He had a chicken head with duck feet. If you haven't seen that YouTube video, it's called Bushes of Love.
Bad lip reading. Yeah, hilarious.
Go watch that and then come back and you'll understand.
If not, we sound like idiots. But it's hilarious.
We might already sound like idiots.
Yeah,
hey,
probably.
That's just how it goes.
But Obi-Wan was awesome. He did need to die in that episode. So that was also another good part.
Well, it pushes Luke. I mean, Luke would have had that like hand holding. You know, like he would have been holding Obi-Wan's hand the whole time. So I think he kind of to push his character forward. Obi-Wan needed to be it, and he like like that's saying nobody's ever really gone because he's not gone.
Yeah,
he comes
he's still
back
there.
in all the other movies, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I did really like that one though. So then
it's the sixth. Next one would be the sixth ranking.
Yeah, sixth ranking. I'd say Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
I do like that one, but for nostalgic reasons, because that's like probably the one I watched the most. But in terms of being good, I would say I'd put that one behind Empire Strikes Back. Or wait. Let me think. Sorry. Gotta organize my thoughts.
You're good, man. Take all the
time. Okay, no.
No rush.
Oh yeah, Return of the Jedi. I'll say that one goes behind it, or that's my next one.
Okay.
That one, it does have boring spouts too, but I mean it's the end of everything. You think Luke's gonna turn, so that's why it becomes really interesting. And in the end, I just found this out like when he had like the white shirt underneath that's just showing like he never really wanted to turn, and then Darth Vader turns. You get to see Palpatine doing his thing, the lightning. The whole indoor scene with the Ewoks, that I didn't like that much, but I liked the feel, like the forest trooper or the scout troopers. Yeah. But that was a really good one. That was definitely one of my favorites.
Okay, so now you're at ranking number 5.
Yeah, okay. So this is actually one of my favorites, and it's controversial. I enjoyed it, even though it could have been 1,000 times better if planned properly. Rise of Skywalker. That was awesome, in my opinion. The main thing that took away from it was it seemed like it was done last minute and thrown together, which it was, but you could tell it was.
I mean, there's no secrets. I mean, there's well documented stuff that says that they were literally editing the movie right up until I think the last 3 weeks of it opening.
And when you do that with a movie, it just loses a lot of its value. But it could have been so cool. Now, as disappointed as I was with Snoke just dying in the previous movie, they didn't explain it too well. That was another thing. They should have explained it, or they should release a longer version of it explaining a little bit more, but better, I guess. But I did like how Palpatine came back.
I think they're going to do that in the... Sorry, again, I don't
you're good.
mean to interrupt you. I think they're going to do that in the Mando, though, because that's what... the Mandalorian show.
Yeah,
I always call
so
it
they're
the
tying
Mando. Because he's like in that little. At least that's what everybody speculates, that he's in that vat.
Well, they needed the M count from the child, so you need some kind of force sensitive clone.
Also, I'm really glad that they. I don't know why they did away with midichlorians. I mean, some people don't care, some people do, but it seems like they're bringing the midichlorians back into things.
Yeah, so that's what you kind of need. I mean, they're it's like the mathematics of the force.
Yeah.
But I thought Palpatine coming back was a really good premise. I mean, in every kind of good fantasy or sci-fi, it's usually an old villain coming back. Now, Palpatine's not that old. In that movie, he was 30 years dead, apparently. But, oh crap, he's back, the super powerful Sith Lord. It did feel cheap, though, because in the beginning, they're just like, oh yeah, by the way, somehow he returned.
Yeah, I wish they would have explained it for sure.
I would have been satisfied with zero explanation, as long as in the previous movie, when the credits were rolling, you just heard that laugh. That would have just showed me that, hey, we thought of this at least more than 5 seconds before we started
That actually
writing.
would have been, that's a really good idea. That would have been really cool.
If you just hear that laugh, once the credits roll, and you're like, what? And then that explains everything, so then you're not pissed off about Snoke dying, and it would make perfect sense. That was one of my big things. Another big thing was throwing Rey's development that she got in episode 2 out the window, and then she's back at episode 1 development. They gave her a new look, they gave her conflict, and then guess what? Throw all that out the window like Luke Skywalker did with that lightsaber. Just chuck it. That really got me too. And I did I mean, everyone likes Kylo Ren. They say that's the best part of the sequel trilogy.
Oh, for sure.
And I would
Driver's
agree.
a beast.
Yeah.
Dude.
And I don't think he should have been the main villain. I think he was very conflicted. So I agree with what they did with him. And they did lead up to that in the last movie, in Last Jedi. They did a good job of that. And him coming back to the light, I would have preferred if he didn't died. Or
Same.
if he hadn't died. Yeah, Kylo Ren.
Yeah, same.
But
There was no
reason.
Yeah, he's done.
But here's my main qualm with this. So he dies. They had a relationship. Relationship was a little forced at the end. You could have let into it more. Yeah, whatever. But my main thing was, if they planned on him to die, and I mean, he had Skywalker blood, although he technically was a solo. Why didn't his Force Ghost show up in the end when she buried the lightsabers, when Rey buried them on Tatooine? They had zero reason not to put Ben's Force Ghost there. Now, you could say technically he didn't know how to project the Force Ghost because he just turned, and it's a very kind of weird process. But Leia, I guarantee she had no idea either.
I want to counter that though, because while it might have been like, I don't know, the grace period between like Darth Vader and like Luke burning him, but I imagine it's probably somewhere along the same lines of like Ben dying to Rey burying those lightsabers. And like, so in the books, Obi-Wan like appears to Vader like real quick, and like he's like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. Like I shouldn't have turned to the dark side." He's like Obi-Wan's like, "Dude, shut the like you got like 10 seconds to like do like to basically there's like a process you have to be to like become a Force Ghost. You're just not like one." And he's like Anakin. He's like forget all that right now. He's like, you need to like do this so you can like essentially like live on. And like they didn't need to show all that stuff. But I think Luke could have done the exact same thing with Kylo and being like, "Look, dude, you need to do this so you can become a Force Ghost," and then essentially, you know, so, like I said, you don't have to show any of that stuff, but
no one knows that watching the original movies. You have to watch all the deeper content to understand. So why wasn't he there? So everyone else, this isn't my own theory. Yeah. I forgot where I saw it from, but everyone was saying that he probably didn't die and Rey was supposed to be the one that died, or they both lived together as like the dyad.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
They probably added in the death last minute after putting in all the CGI Force Ghosts. And, man, that just was disappointing. I did like the Rey Palpatine thing.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was awesome. The little Force lightning. Chewbacca definitely should have died then. They shouldn't have brought him back. And they kind of mourned his death for only a second.
Yeah, that's the thing is like it doesn't give you any time to like be like, oh man, Chewbacca's like really gone, like because like oh man, I got the hiccups. In the next scene, he's just like, Chewbacca's back.
Yeah,
like, oh.
Yeah, you should have just kept him dead. But
dude, Hux.
I liked him in the end. How they're making him like an interesting like kind of comic relief because he did look like a scrawnier dude. But he was an interesting character. I did like his, though. They shouldn't have killed him off so quickly, however.
Oh, it just seemed like they were just like, I don't know what to do with this character. Let's throw him away, you know?
Yeah, they shouldn't have killed him off. I did like the guy who shot him. He looked exactly like Galactic Empire High General. You know
I hope we get more, like, when they go back, like, because like they're filming stuff, like, within the Mandalorian and like all the other, I hope we get a little bit of, because like we don't see him in any of the original
he was
stuff.
awesome.
So
I loved him.
I hope we get a little bit more of his backstory because I think he could be cool.
Now, Sith Planet, awesome. It felt like Indiana Jones and Star Wars had a baby. And I mean, it's Lucasfilm. That's what it could feel like if you're into that. I am. I love Indiana Jones. So I thought the setup and style of the movie was awesome, but it just was basically like alone because no other movie really led up to it, and it threw a lot of things away. It threw Rose away, even though that I didn't necessarily like her character. She shouldn't have been just like thrown away. You could have given her something, made her change a little bit, or not just put her in the movie. I might not have liked it, but I mean, it wouldn't have felt completely rushed. So when Leia does the force projecting thing with Han Solo to Ben, that made zero sense to me in the movie theater. But I'll allow that because she did die like before they filmed or midway through the filming process. So I can understand it, but they should have somehow described it better because I had zero idea, and I have a good concept of Star Wars. So someone who doesn't know Star Wars that much, honestly, would not have known, and it just felt kind of cheap.
It took me a couple watch throughs to realize that she was the one that like force projected like Han. So also that scene gets me, dude. Every time I get misty eyed every time
I just didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, but it takes a couple watch throughs to realize that she's the one. Like they didn't do a good job of like portraying that like she's implanting that force like memory into Kylo to like see. But it's also too like I don't have. How would you do that scene though? Like any other way? Like I don't know.
She could have. Well, she couldn't have said it because she already died at that point. But you could have just said like, "I might know a trick or something." And like,
I think Maz. She's like, she has to be done, like, but like it's kind of weird that Maz.
Yeah, you didn't. It. Yeah, you didn't really understand like. Maz knew exactly what happened, but no one else did. Like, yes, she just died. Understandable. But, like, she was force sensitive, I guess they were leading up to, so she knew what was going on, but I had zero idea.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, little side rant. Who the hell is Maz, and how does she know so freaking much, dude? Like,
yeah.
She seems like an awesome character, but, like, how does she know all this stuff?
Yeah. She could have had, like, her own series or something. She could have been, like, they could have made her into a Jedi Master in secret, like another Yoda. That would have been cool.
That would have been really cool.
But yeah, I guess she was just a mystical supporting character. But I did like her character. She was good.
Same.
But yeah, so those were my main problems with it. But the final order, that was awesome.
Oh yeah.
And they didn't reuse the same template of giant planet destroying device. They did multiple giant ships that could destroy planets.
Well, I thought that was cool though. Like you see a massive fleet with like the lightning. I was like,
and I like the Sith Wayfinder, and I like the dagger thing. That's why I felt like Indiana Jones or the Goonies, where she'd hold it up and be like, "Oh, look at the ship. This is where I have to go." And also, I think it would have been cool if Rey turned completely to the dark side and then Ben like switched places with her, like, "Hey, no, let's not do this," and then he ends her. Also, the end scene with all the Force ghosts talking to Rey.
They should have been there.
Well, I guess they were just speaking to her. They didn't show up, but that was awesome. That was really good. And I loved how they made Palpatine almost like a horror kind of guy. Instead of just creepy, they just went straight for, like, the dark side of the Force is a pathway to ability. Like, that was the creepiest thing in this weird contraption. That was so cool. And he is a good villain, so it makes sense. They just didn't lead up to it. And that would have been my favorite movie if they led up to it. But that's really it for me. I thought it was pretty good.
Nice. So I think we're at like...
Yeah, so the last two.
Was it last? No,
now we're at the last two.
You got...
Because I paired two together.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
so I'm at the last two.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Second to last, it's probably everyone's favorite, Empire Strikes Back. That one was awesome. With the tauntauns and the cutting open the tauntaun to sleep inside, and then what's that thing on Hoth? The horn beast. What was it called? Wampa. Yeah, the Wampa was awesome. Dagobah, awesome. Yoda, that is my favorite Yoda.
Oh, 1,000 years old you are. Look so good. You will not.
Dude, that Yoda was awesome. That's how Yoda should have been, and they made him way too serious in the prequels. Like, Yoda should have been serious, but he should have been, like, playful serious. Like, I guess he was in episode 6, but he was still, like, he was partly testing, but, dude, I love, like, funny Yoda. Oh,
well, he has more of the Buddhist mentality, I feel like, in the older movies.
Yeah, exactly. You know? But that was probably my favorite part of Last Jedi, going back. Yoda's Force Ghost. They brought back, like, old-fashioned Yoda from, like, the original.
That was good.
Because they made him a puppet, and they made him, like, only partly see-through. It was really, like, a glowing aura. They animated him perfectly into, like, the Force Ghost, I mean. And they made him, like, funny, kind of, but still smart Yoda. Where he's, like, he might piss you off, but he's really teaching you something.
Yeah.
So, that was awesome.
I have a question for you, though, on that. Is his stick better than bacon?
My stick. I did not. That one was not nearly as funny as Bushes of Love.
Oh, no.
Bushes of Love and Seagulls. Look those up. Bad lip reading.
No,
hilarious. They'll get in your head.
Oh, yeah.
But the entire videos are fun, too. And they actually had... I think Mark Hamill guest starred in one of those.
Did they really?
Yeah, he
that's
voiced like
cool.
everyone. It was either
That's
him
great.
or Harrison Ford, and Jack Black was definitely in one of those too.
Really? What you watched?
Jack Black, I
Yeah.
think they had him voice Darth Vader and like the bad lip reading stuff. It was hilarious.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
But anyways, so we were on episode. What was it again? It was episode
We're talking about Empire.
Empire. Yeah, sorry, I was thinking sequels.
Yeah, I kind of derailed that. My bad. My
No,
bad.
no, you're good. Yeah, it was a good song. But Empire was awesome. Empire has my favorite ship, by the way. I know that's another question of yours later, but my favorite ship is that thing that I don't even know the name of it. It's like the giant starfighter thing that Darth Vader is on and the Emperor's on. It looks like a city. It's like the triangular ships that are insanely long. That thing was awesome because it didn't feel like a recycled thing.
Executioner or something like that.
Yeah.
Exquisition or something. It's something like that.
That ship is the coolest.
Oh yeah.
That and Snoke's ship are really cool. But
Oh, even the big.
yeah, the
wings.
Snoke ship
cool.
was awesome. But I think I did like Darth Vader's more. There was like their mobile base.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Sweet.
And then you saw Palpatine for the first time. That was really cool. You get to see Vader. Now he's a little bit more man-like because they've taken off his helmet thing. And so you're showing that he does have some kind of weakness. He's not just some mechanical thing. Also, you're seeing that, hey, he was the father of Luke. Biggest plot twist in cinematic history. And you're adding more into Luke's character. That really tipped him off. And you're kind of getting to see that Luke could turn to the dark side. You begin to see that in that movie. Cloud City was awesome. Lando was awesome. Boba Fett, awesome. It was an awesome movie. But Dagobah was the best part. So
That planet, I want to see more of that planet. I feel like it's a really cool.
which plane?
Planet. My bad.
Planet.
Gotta enunciate a little bit.
No,
more.
no, you're good.
But yeah, I feel like Dagobah's a really cool. Like,
Yeah.
I imagine like the creatures on that planet are just like crazy. It's because it's like a swamp almost.
Yeah.
It's good.
Dagobah would be awesome to see a little bit more. So I guess there's like no native population. It's just like forced planet or whatever.
Yeah.
But I did like Dagobah was cool. If I'd live anywhere in Star Wars, it'd probably be Dagobah, honestly, or Naboo.
Okay.
But I don't know why Dagobah is pretty cool.
Well, I think it'd be like secluded, and it's like, you know, you're from Louisiana, so I feel like it's more
Home sweet home.
Yeah.
But dude,
I don't know.
Yoda in that movie is awesome. That's how Yoda should have been the entire time. Maybe a little bit wise, but I mean, still like playful and kind of mischievous, even though because he's like a little creature, but he's still wise. But anyways, that was my second favorite movie. And I think everyone pretty much has the same first favorite. And for 1,000 reasons, the episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. That was amazing. Leading up to a character perfectly, showing their flaws, showing why they left, and feeling bad for them, and also understanding why they did that thing. So I'm clearly talking about Anakin here, but dude, the fight scene on whatever lava planet that was, what was it? Mustafar, of course. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm your encyclopedia, man.
Dude,
Yeah.
Dude, I think every Star Wars fan could pretty much quote that entire thing. That battle was awesome. And I like, if you rewatch it, you get little snippets of, like, every now and then, like, Anakin's yellow eyes, they're, like, turning off and on whenever he's, like, thinking about going back, but he doesn't. And then you're understanding everything, and, dude, it was awesome. And Yoda's fight again, that was pretty cool. Every fight in that movie was awesome. Seeing all the clones turn against everyone, awesome. The fight with General Grievous versus Obi-Wan, awesome. I mean, there's really nothing more to say. That entire movie was just perfect. Awesome. The original thing where he kills Dooku. Dooku could have saved everything, but I guess he knew it was like for the good of the Sith.
Well, I think he was the book, because I actually did read that book. The book goes into detail, and he was just, because Dooku thought that he was going to take a lot of the Jedi and train them as like to be Sith. Like that was his plan. Like going like once they overthrew everything, like Anakin was gonna be Palp's master or not master apprentice, and then he was gonna kind of go and do his own thing and train like the next future. So he was like it was just like the shock and betrayal of like he didn't think Palpatine was going to tell Anakin to kill him.
Oh, but how did he just accept the hand cut off thing? He thought he didn't plan for it, or
well,
what?
I think it was because the Palpatine told him that he just wanted to toy with Anakin, bring out his dark side and play with him.
Okay.
And so like when he cut off his hand and then he like does this, he's just like, "What's going on? Like what's going on?" And then he kind of looks to the Emperor, and Emperor's like, "Kill him now!" And he's like, "What?" And I think he's just like the shock and revelation that like he's like, "Oh no, I'm just a pawn."
Yeah,
like I'm not a part of the plan at all. I think he was just.
I guess that plan does make sense also because in Clone Wars he had Savage, Opress, and all of his other apprentices.
Yeah, they break the rule of two quite a bit.
Yeah, well they try and go on for it. They try like they have their own little sub thing. Like Dooku was like, "I'm gonna be the master, and I'm gonna have my own apprentice, and we don't need Palpatine anymore."
For sure.
So
I think that's just the way of the Sith.
Yeah, betrayal. But yeah, that's why that movie was my favorite. It was really good. I liked it.
Nice. Yeah, I think that was a good from start to finish. We derailed a little bit here and there, but hey, that's what podcasts are for, man. All right, so now that we're on from movie rankings, let's do. Okay, so we kind of talked about the ships, but let's go a little. So you said you have any more than just Vaders? You can also do vehicles too if you want to. It's not just.
Oh yeah, vehicles ships. Have their own type. For vehicles, I think everyone's favorite is the AT-AT.
Yeah.
It's a classic. I'm trying to think of they're called AT-ATs or.
I mean, everybody mispronounces Star Wars stuff. Yeah. It's like some people call it AT-AT, some people call it AT-AT. I mean, I think as long as you know that it's the thing that looks like a chicken and walks on four legs, well, it's not a chicken.
Well, that's the AT-RT. No, it's the four-legged.
AT-ST. Yeah.
Yeah, it's AT-ST. Yeah, there's so many AT.
Yeah, there's like eight. No, they're all because they're all-terrain, like attack vehicle, and then like all-terrain.
So besides that, I can't think of many other land vehicles.
I know you said
the clone ones that roll. Those are good. What?
You said Sebulba's Pod Racer. I know you said that for.
Oh, okay. So we're considering those.
Yeah, those would be more vehicles, though, not ships. But
what was the spider things from Attack of the Clones? So not the little spider droids. I'm talking about the big spider things. I think they had a radio disc on them, and they had the little rolly things too. I forgot what all. The little roll.
They spun. They like. There's a piece in the middle, and then had two wheels on each side.
Yeah. So it was when
they're
those
called,
were
like, the Hellcats or something like that.
So those were riding around on Geonosis with the spider, the giant spider things.
Yeah,
those were cool. I think I had a toy of one of those when I was a kid.
Yeah, they're kind of terrifying in Battlefront.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was awesome. So I think that's like the coolest. I love the droid tanks too, like the brown tanks.
Yeah. I forget what those are called, but those are pretty sweet.
Oh, you know what? What's another really cool? One of my favorite vehicles, like a spaceship. It was the droid transporters from the Trade Federation, the brown ones. They have like the two things, and then when they were landing on Naboo to let all the tanks out.
Oh, like the cargo droid.
Yeah, the cargo ones.
Yeah,
those I would say I like as much as Darth Vader's giant thing.
Yeah, those are pretty sweet. You don't see those a lot. I guess that's really the only time you see them.
Yeah. See them a little. Yeah. I guess.
Or maybe in Clone Wars you do, but I like the TV show. But I don't think you see them because a lot of that stuff got retired once the Empire took over and like decommissioned.
Yeah. So those are pretty cool. And then land, I would say that spider thing I liked the most. I need to look up what that name is after this. But I thought those were cool. It had like a laser and everything.
Yeah, the ones with the really long legs.
Yeah, the really long legs. Yeah, so they weren't droids. Well, they might have been droids, but they weren't like those crab droids.
Those are Battlefront too, man. Then they drop that laser down on you.
Yeah.
Rocket launcher. I'm talking about the OG, the OG Battlefront, not the new one. But you gotta get those like blue guys with the rocket launchers and freaking blow them up. All right, so let's talk about I know you talked about some characters that you like, but if you had to pick I know picking one character is kind of hard. What's your top 5 characters? If you had to pick 5.
Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, definitely top 2. Cad Bane. He wasn't in the main movies.
Awesome.
Cad Bane was the coolest bounty hunter to me. Had a cool, interesting voice. Had a cool hat. He looked different from a lot of the other alien species. And he was basically like in Clone Wars, he was like the only PG-13 character there,
Yeah.
or like the rated R character there. Like he would just punch people for not doing stuff and constantly just awesome.
He had a cool
dude.
voice too. His voice was really low.
Yeah, he
and,
sounded like a
kinda
German
raspy.
alien type thing.
Like,
It
yeah,
was
you
cool.
don't
Yeah.
have to mess with me, Solo.
He was awesome,
Even though we
dude.
don't have to talk about Han Solo a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
So the two coolest Jedi, I just talked about him. And I guess two more. Dooku was my favorite Sith.
Solid.
That's really all there is to say. Dooku's the coolest.
Yeah, he is. I wish there was more merch for him, man. There's not a lot of Dooku
Dude,
merch.
no one talks about Dooku.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people do, but and also, fun fact about Dooku, played by
Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lee. I almost said Stewart, but that's from Star Trek. That's Patrick Stewart. Christopher Lee. He had the lightsaber that was curved. Okay, so where else do we see a curved handled sword? Do you know where?
Are you talking about
Ever,
just-
like ever, curved handled sword, not in Star Wars.
It's
No,
the-
I didn't know this, so I
It's
don't.
like the Duke or something. Like it's somebody that he was related to.
Exactly,
right?
it's
Yeah.
Charlemagne. So
Yeah.
Charlemagne was like a very, very, very famous king who was a conqueror in Europe. Apparently, you could trace. What was his name again? I'm always Christopher Lee. Yeah. Okay, I remember because he was in Lord of the
Sir
Rings.
Christopher.
Sir Christopher Lee.
He was knighted.
Yeah, exactly.
He's an OG.
So you could Christopher Lee's his genealogy and his ancestry could be traced back to Charlemagne, who also had that curved handled sword. So I guess that was their reasoning behind it, but if it wasn't, they got very lucky because that was so cool to see.
It was,
and
yeah.
he also seems very royal and like that's how you would imagine a Sith Lord to be.
No, he's
Very,
a count.
Yeah,
So-
he's the count. Yeah, so you want him to be like very regal and like think he's so better than everyone else because he is, but that's what a bad
Got
guy
the
should
look.
be.
You can see
yeah.
him. I got him on my desk right here, creeping behind.
Oh,
Benji.
yeah.
Got the look of superiority.
Dude, oh man, he was so cool. So those were that, and then
Yeah, one
Dooku. Okay, one more. That one's gonna be hard. I think everyone's favorite's Darth Vader, so I'm not gonna say Darth Vader, even though he's definitely up there.
He's OG. Me
Um,
too.
I can't think of any others I like more than Darth Vader, so screw it. I'm gonna be basic and add Darth Vader.
Hey
in.
man, that's not bad. That's not basic at all. That's a great choice.
Darth Vader is awesome. Now Anakin, he's a little bit lower in my opinion because we didn't get to see Anakin really lose it until for like more than 10 minutes in like the original trilogies or the prequel trilogies. But we saw Darth Vader just going ham like in that it wasn't in the original movies, but it was that hallway scene in Rogue One where he's just coming through.
Yeah.
Dude, and I mean the stories that they add, like Darth Vader, even though he was nerfed because he had like no legs or whatever, he was still like unstoppable. Like he was just unstoppable dude. Was super scary, perfect voice. Him and Dooku were the coolest Siths.
One thing that was because I don't know if you've played it all the way through, but the Revenge of the Sith video game, I really like that because like you like like Order 66 and when he goes to like the temple and stuff like that, you play through all of that.
Oh really?
Yeah, so you see more of his like turn. Obviously, you're not killing younglings.
I was
or
about
anything
to
like that. No, but like you get to see like you fight Syndraulic, which is like the guy who did all the choreography for. You see him like briefly like in the hologram when Obi-Wan's like looking at like the hologram of Anakin like killing all the Jedi.
yeah.
He's like fighting Anakin in like the hologram, and then he's in Clone Wars a little bit. And then you get to fight Jocasta Nu in it as well,
Wait,
which is
who's
the
that?
librarian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't she have like the rifle, the lightsaber rifle or something?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I'm trying to think. No, the lightsaber rifle was Ezra. Was shooting the little blaster bolts. You talking about that?
No. There was some Jedi who had like, I don't think it's canon, but they had a lightsaber rifle, and it was like it would shoot through anything, basically.
Yo,
It's like a rifle with a kyber crystal in it.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it was her.
That sounds freaking cool. I need to go look.
Yeah,
at
look it up. Dude.
It
It was super.
That
It's super
sounds
interesting to read
sick.
about. So basically, like if you shoot it, it'd just go through the Death Star and like basically
Damn, son.
unstoppable bullet.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet.
But yeah, so she was pretty cool.
All right, so next we got, let's go with, I know you kind of already talked about planets, but let's run through those again. Like, if you had to pick your favorite planets, like, I mean, it can be one or two, or however many you want to.
Naboo is the best, I think.
Yeah.
It feels totally different from whatever you've seen in Star Wars to that point, because it's very pretty. You got the lake country, you got, even, like, below the surface in, like, any kind of water system, it's very complex. So you have this complexity to the planet layer by layer.
Also got the swamps too, because like that's where all the Gungans live.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Area, it's just a really cool planet, and I like the feel of it. It feels very like 1800s architecture, and it has its own style in weapons and vehicles and everything. And I just think it's a very well thought out planet, and also it's where good old Sheev's from.
Oh yeah, man.
Which I didn't know about until recently. So I mean, it's just they should have like their own thing on that planet, like a whole movie on it,
that'd be
like
cool.
the history or something. That'd be awesome.
That's why I hope they do like a Plagueis like TV show or movie, because like a good chunk of like the book is like Plagueis goes to, that's where he meets Palpatine. It's on it was on Naboo and Theed. And I think that they could be really, because it reminds me of like Naboo reminds me a lot of Italy. I don't know why, but like they have a lot of the same like infrastructure and stuff. Like, it's a little bit more colorful. I think
it's like Europe.
Italy.
It's a very calm, gentle atmosphere to the planet.
For sure.
So that would be number one without a doubt. Number two, probably Dagobah. Dagobah is awesome.
Clutch.
A lot of mystery. Why is it so like force sensitive of a planet? Like the cave that Luke went into, what kind of creatures live there, and it's like not just swamp, it's like gigantic swamp that's everlasting. It's very cool. I'm trying to think of any other cool planets. Coruscant is awesome because it has the multiple layers also, the
13,
upper layer,
13.
lower. Yeah. I would say those are the coolest. Mustafar is also up there.
I feel like it'd be really hot.
Yeah, I wouldn't live there, but that's also a cool planet. I absolutely would not live there unless I was going for the Vader aesthetic, where he just lives in his castle on. That's on Mustafar, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure it wasn't another lava planet.
It's funny enough, I didn't realize this until like I saw some YouTube video talk about it. That the intro to Episode 9, when Kylo Ren's fighting all those people in that forest area, that's Mustafar.
Oh, is it really?
I didn't know.
I thought it was just smoking because they screwed everything up, so it might have been smoking because that's what Mustafar does.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought too. But yeah, apparently it's Mustafar, or at least in like the ultimate guide. You know how they release like those ultimate guidebooks? Yeah, apparently it's in there that says it's Mustafar.
Nice.
So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's a cool place. And on Battlefront, the new Battlefront, you could play a lot on Mustafar, and the levels are really interesting because it's not just pure lava. It's like mountains and rocks, so it looks kind of like the moon, but with like lava running through it and rivers. It's pretty interesting.
So if you had to pick your favorite, like say, we'll do this. We'll do, what type of saber would you have if you were in Star Wars, and what is your favorite saber from Star Wars?
Okay. This is a good one. I love green lightsabers because they mark force sensitivity and kind of connection with the force. Plus, the deep green just looks beautiful. So that's what kind of kyber crystal I'd go for. I guess a green one. Mm-hmm. If I would go for structure, though, I love the curve of Dooku's. I love the thinness of Luke Skywalker's green saber. It kind of has a little bit of depth to it. Like it goes thin and thick again.
Kind of like they have very similar. Like his and Obi-Wan's from like Episode 3. Like they're very similar looking. I've noticed.
I think if I could put all the aspects of the coolest lightsabers together, I probably wouldn't have the curve. That might make things a little too weird. I did like Rey's lightsaber at the end of Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
how it was more industrial looking, and
it was like from her staff. I think.
Yeah, it was from the tip of her staff.
Yeah,
that was cool. So maybe if I'd have one, it'd be green, when it would look a little bit more like Rey's, but it'd have like some thickness and thinness to it, and maybe with one of those Inquisitor broken guards, like kind of halfway on it.
Yeah.
So like you'd see on malls. So you had like the Inquisitor. That would be cool.
Yeah.
So like repurposed.
That'd be
but
cool.
maybe Rey's style wouldn't work with an Inquisitor thing. But I'm sure you can make it look cool. But definitely color green.
I don't know. I think that might look. You're talking about like that little like loop
Yeah, the little
thing?
half. So it's a
Yeah.
broken Inquisitor's
Mhm.
thing on it,
Yeah,
but it was
yeah.
part of the like guard. So I guess
that actually looked pretty sweet with Rey, like her like in like the tip of it, how it's like the tip of her staff, like and then the hook. That was
Yeah.
I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
it'd be cool going up to the lights. So it'd start at the end on the lightsaber blade, but I think that'd be really cool. The green and it would kind of look sinister, even though that it was be like a Jedi's lightsaber.
Right. And then, what's your favorite saber out of like everybody's from Star Wars? Like, if you had to pick one, that's your favorite.
Dooku's or Kenobi's.
Fair enough.
Then Kenobi's. Yeah, I always call Maul Kenobi because that's all he screams. Kenobi. No, Maul's. In Rebels. Mind you, I haven't seen Rebels. I've seen all the good scenes that people pick through. I've seen them 1,000 times. But I'm chiefly thinking about the final battle between Maul and Obi-Wan, because he keeps calling him Kenobi. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
But that's all he calls him, Kenobi. But he, at that point, when they're fighting, he has the Broken Inquisitor double-bladed lightsaber.
I really
that
like
one's
his
really
from
cool.
his from season 7 with the exposed crystal, like the has all the dots and the crystals
I need to-
exposed.
I need to look at it again. Oh, it's like the single blade, though, at that point.
No. So it's like his like see this right here. So he has this on one side, and then the other side is like
okay.
So apparently it's Ventress's. Like when she was a
Oh,
Jedi.
okay.
But like yeah, it has but it has like on like the you know how on like miniguns and stuff like that it has like the barrels with the holes poking through it. Kind of looks like that, but you see the crystal through
man.
it, which is
and I'm sure there's a lot of cool ones. The Wookiee lightsaber also with the wood. on it.
Genji's?
Yeah, that one's
yeah.
cool. But I will say Count Dooku's and Maul's from Rebels with the coolest.
solid pick. Yeah,
Yeah.
very solid pick. Why don't you rattle off some of your favorite video games, man?
I haven't played a lot of Star Wars video games.
You don't have to like.
Yeah,
You don't have to be
no.
like beat them or anything like that. Just like what you.
I loved my all-time favorite's Battlefront 2. I think there's a lot of people's
Really,
favorites.
over Lego Star Wars.
Oh, I didn't think Lego Star Wars. Okay, so Lego Star Wars Complete Saga. That was awesome. Because when that came out, I played both the other Lego ones, and I was like, whoa, they're together? Like, you could play as General Grievous in free game in, like, Episode 4? Whoa.
Fighting Darth Vader.
Yeah. So that was awesome. Definitely my favorite. I played that one the most. But I think all Star Wars fans' favorites is the original Battlefronts.
Just like
Chiefly,
simulation.
yeah, chiefly the second one. You
Watch
play
those
as
wrist
like,
rockets.
oh man, they're so fun. The best level was Mos Eisley, and then you could play with all the Sith and Jedi.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I could play that for hours. It was so awesome.
Well,
tried
I
to
just
climb that
like
one thing and
all the different characters that you could play. Like they had like that's where I think the newer ones failed. Is like they didn't have enough character, and like in my opinion, they just didn't have enough. I mean, it's still a good game,
Yeah.
but like they just didn't have enough characters because like you could play as like every hero, and that was like the coolest. It was the coolest.
It was pretty fun, and I loved playing as Droidica and everything.
All right, Dick Oz.
Yeah, no match for Droidica. Dude, I love Droidica, so playing as that was awesome. And couldn't you play on? You played online, right?
Yeah, you could play online.
I remember playing online a lot.
I never did, but
I did
know you
going
could.
over to friends' houses who had it.
Yeah.
That was so fun. And all the maps are so diverse and everything like that. It was just a beautiful game. And then I just recently started getting into what is it? Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, that's good.
That game is awesome.
Yeah.
It plays like Assassin's Creed meets Star Wars. So
Yeah,
that game was really good.
pain in my ass to fight those bosses, but it's a
Oh,
good
dude,
game.
they're impossible.
Yeah, they're so hard.
The first Inquisitor, she looks like Darth Vader, and it was really cool. She had like the helmet, but dude, she was so hard to beat.
I think that would be a cool TV show. Is like going through and like, because there's like apparently there's like 10 Inquisitors. And
Oh,
stuff like
really?
that, and like going through like their journeys, finding like Jedi and stuff. Like, I feel like that would be a really cool TV show.
Yeah.
But then we got we'll talk about. I actually do have a question about just like what you want to see from future projects, but I'm gonna save that one for a little later. What is your favorite music from Star Wars? I know there's so many because John Williams is such an OG, but
Yeah,
what you
no,
got?
I got two main ones. My biggest one is Tatooine Double Sunset.
No,
Whatever
Binary
the-
Sun- yeah, Binary Sunset, yeah.
Oh wait, no, okay. 3, sorry. Because I was thinking about the melody when I started singing it.
Yeah.
The love theme from the second movie with Anakin and Padme.
Across the Stars, yeah.
Yeah, Across the
Dude,
Stars.
Makes me tear up every time I'm like,
that one, and that's actually probably my favorite. Then the binary sunset one, and then lastly, from Rise of Skywalker, the little tiny snippet from Rey's theme when she's saying "Be with me." The dun 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 dun. That is awesome. Just that once that the dun 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 dun. That was awesome. That was why that movie felt awesome to me, because of just the songs and.
Yeah, I think Rey's theme is up there, man. They killed it with Rey's theme.
They did, but making it simple and then building off of it, that was awesome. It doesn't compare to the Across the Stars. And
I mean, those are just binary. I think that's like default, probably everybody's like fate. Like it might not be everybody's like top pick, but it's definitely like in people's top 3. I mean, it's just like that song is the Force.
I'd say,
like, you know?
Oh yeah, but Across the Stars. I would choose it to be my favorite.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotion. The Princess Leia's theme, it kind of has that same effect on me that Across the Stars does. Like when I hear the little, because it has the kind of those same melodies, and I'm just like, oh, my heart. I was like,
I need to hear it again, because I don't know a lot of them by name, but I am really good at picking out melodies. So I probably.
I'm trying to think. It's like,
oh yeah, I know that one, because it almost sounds like Indiana Jones, but it's the same conductor.
When you hear those violins, man, you're just like, oh.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But okay, let's see what else we got. I got a couple more, and then we'll go on to what you want to see from future projects. Here's a good one. You got any favorite creatures?
Oh, dude, no brainer. Delicious Crumb, whatever. The Coaxian monkeys. Were they called Coaxian lizard monkeys?
Coaxian monkey lizard. Coaxium is the thing, the fuel on Solo.
Oh, so Coaxium?
It's a Coaxian monkey lizard. Yeah.
Yeah, those. And I always wanted one of those as a pet. Oh, you have the thing? Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
What's that little? What is he? He's like.
he does like, okay, I'm gonna butcher this, but he's like.
Dude, that was baller. What are you talking about?
I love that lizard, and he's looking. That was my favorite part about Return of the Jedi. He's like looking at Jabba's tail, and dude, I want that thing as a pet so bad.
I need to see some comments about how spot on that laugh was for Frank.
He does. I have practiced. He does like the. He's like yelling at C-3PO, and then.
Yeah,
I love that
up
thing.
Like his eye or whatever,
and he like jumps up when he gets shocked.
Yeah, yeah. They actually have. I don't know if you've seen them. They have them at Galaxy's Edge.
Dude, I would buy
where you can.
So
there's like a magnet you can put on the inside of your shoulder, and he'll sit.
Oh man!
And you can like. There's a little remote, so his head will move and stuff like that. And
I want to get one.
He'll laugh. Yeah.
And I know Hondo has one.
Yeah.
Also, it's like green and.
Yeah. Well,
that was really cool.
I like that one. I like that they have like. Basically like desert stuff. It's like it makes it more real because like that the one that Hondo has is a jungle.
Yeah,
and then the Salacious Scrum is the desert version of that. So I thought that was cool.
And besides them, I would say that my favorite other 2 creatures is that weird little eel glowing thing in episode 1 that gets eaten by the giant thing.
Oh,
or no, really all 3 of those are really cool because the smaller one is. The bigger one, it looked a little bland, even though it was huge and awesome.
It's massive.
But the weird tongue creature that gets eaten by the eel thing was... Oh, no, he gets eaten by the big thing. So the eel thing and then the little bug frog
I think they both get eaten by the big
they both
guy,
do.
don't they?
So both creatures on Naboo that get eaten by the big thing are my favorites also. And then also the giant worm thing that they... fly out the mouth of. And what episode was that? 5?
Yeah, Empire.
Yeah. That thing was awesome. Where they're inside of that creature and then they animate it, they go back and it's like...
It's like a little puppet.
Like, that thing was so cool. Yeah, I love it, man. It was definitely my favorite. Well, Salacious Crumb then. Those.
Alright, and then you have I didn't actually say this in mine, but I thought of it going forward. Do you have like a favorite like clone trooper armor?
Oh, without a doubt. It's Gregor's. So it's like the...
Super Commando?
Yeah, so it's that's the name of Super
Yeah, he's like a Super Commando.
It's like the glowing visors and everything. That is awesome. But that's more of a generalized. It's any of those.
Yeah, they're the game. I don't know if you played Republic Commandos, but they're all.
Yeah,
like
no,
the,
I never. I think I've seen it before, but I've never.
Yeah, that's all. Like, it's basically you play as like a task force of them.
Oh, okay.
essentially. So,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
pretty cool.
But their armor in clones, that was the coolest. But individually, I think not tech. It's Crosshair's armor from the Crosshair from episode 3 of Bad Batch.
Oh yeah.
That is the bridge, in my opinion, between Clone Trooper and the new Stormtrooper armor. Because if you look at it side to side, it's a little bit of both. It's so cool because it has the bigger mouths.
Yeah, it has the bubbles.
Yes.
The bubbles at the.
But it still looks like a Clone Trooper armor. So that would be my other favorite.
It's got a little bit of like, well, and we can talk about this later, but like, it's got a little bit of Death Trooper in there from the Death Trooper from
yeah.
He's got a little bit of that vibe in there as well.
And in Phase 2 Clone Trooper armor is really cool, but like that's pretty much such a big category. So I'd say the Commandos and then Crosshair's updated armor.
Okay, cool.
Is awesome.
Cool. So if you had to be somebody in Star Wars, what would you be? Would you be a smuggler? Would you be a Jedi? Would you be a Sith? Would you be a traitor? You know, or like a spice trader or whatever. What would you be if you had to pick? So like, you don't have to develop a whole character or anything like that. But if you had to be like one, I guess a class essentially,
Okay.
who would you be?
So if we're just judging it by class, I'd say bounty hunter. Bounty hunters, they have freedom to do whatever they want.
That's a good one.
And that's what I would want to do because everyone else is bound by something. I wouldn't choose Jedi because they're bound by the Order. You can't have relationships.
Can't clap them cheeks, man.
Well, you can.
Oh,
you
yeah,
actually can.
Yeah, you can't.
But
you can't have an attachment.
what's the guy who had a wife? He just didn't care about her. The tall-headed guy. What's his name?
Kiadi
Mundi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he had like a whole family, but he's like, yeah, I don't need them. I'm not bound by any earthly means.
Yeah.
So
peasants.
that sucks, and you have to do what the Order says, and you got to do all this, unless like you're a Jedi post Empire. So then you could. I guess that wouldn't make you a real Jedi though. Kind of defecting.
Kind of, yeah, for sure.
So I would, but if I'd make my own up, I would go to the Jedi Order and then do what Ahsoka Tano did and just defect. Like, nah, I'm good, and then be a bounty hunter.
Yeah,
that's earn your living like Mando did.
That's basically like mine's the same way. I was I said I would be. I said I'd either be a Nautolan, which is Kit Fisto, like what Kit Fisto looks like.
Yeah.
That's the creature I would be, and like what I would do is I would essentially be a Jedi and then survive Order 66, and then turn away from being a Jedi and become a bounty hunter. Or I said my second option is I would be a clone trooper who went through with Order 66, and my mission was to hunt down Ahsoka Tano, and then they ended up taking my chip out, and then I ended up being both ways led to me being a bounty hunter. But
bounty hunters are cool.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of what species would be coolest. I would think whatever Bosk is, because he wouldn't be
Trandoshan.
Trandoshan. He wouldn't be a good Force user, though, I feel like, because they're so clumsy, but they're really strong. So it's really cool to see. They're scary and strong.
Well, he's got, like, thermal vision, like, built, because he's, like, a reptile. So he's got a lot of attributes that would
That's why he's, like,
really
the
cool.
coolest. That's why he's one of my favorite bounty hunters.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But he wouldn't make for a good Force user or wielder.
Well, there definitely was Trandoshan Force
yeah, I mean,
users.
they just don't seem like they fit well together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know a lot about his species, so I can't really speak on it.
Whatever Plo Koon was, I love Plo Koon. I would be his species.
I can't think of what. Dang it! That's just you did like a Jedi mind trick on me. As soon as you said Plo Koon, it like the. I want to say search for the Q. Crap. Oh, well, I'm recording this with my phone, so I can't check it, but. I would look it up. I'll look it up after the.
Yeah, no, but Plo Koon, whatever he was, he had the mask. I like a lot of the cyborg-looking ones. What's the? He was the bounty hunter with the hat. He looked like the Mortal Kombat guy.
Oh,
he was one of my favorites.
Yeah, I don't know. He could like throw
whatever
it and
species that was. If I could be a Force
user.
user and be him, that would be the coolest. I think.
I don't think he's a Weequay because he doesn't look like Hondo or any of them, but.
Yeah, no, but he has like the small. It's like metal. It's either a mask or he's a robot.
I don't think.
He's a robot.
I think he's an
a
actual
mask.
species, but I just can't.
Yeah.
think
But
he
if-
had like the wolf too.
Yeah,
wolf
I
thing,
forgot about the wolf.
Yeah.
But the hat was so cool. But if he would have had like a lightsaber deal,
Oh.
that would have been awesome.
Game
Would
over.
have been awesome.
Well, that's the one thing that's cool about. I didn't know that Aura Singh for like the longest time. Like she's
Oh.
the chick with the antenna. She
Yeah.
was a Jedi.
Or
She
is-
left the Order.
Oh wait, what? She was?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
She was like she was one of the most feared. She was.
Oh,
really
she's
cool.
badass. Yeah.
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 Who's the other bounty hunter chick who had like the whip type thing? She was awesome. She was in Clone Wars. She had like the whip, but it was like it looked like scales, and she'd grab people with it. And she was like pink or green or something. You could look it up. She
Yeah,
worked
I'm
with
blanking on
in the
it.
Boba Fett episode where he was young and he was working with. What's Dooku's apprentice's name?
Ventress?
Ventress.
Oh, were they on like the train or
Yes,
whatever?
yeah.
I still don't remember. I can't picture her in my head because it's been so long since I've
She,
rewatched
it
it.
looks like
but-
she has scales. I forget which species she is, but the species does come in a lot. But she has this whip thing that's really cool,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. But she was also another cool bounty hunter.
Hell yeah.
Pretty much all the bounty hunters have their own
Yeah,
deal, and they're all
badass.
really
Yeah.
cool. I would totally be a bounty hunter.
I hope we see more of them, and I hope like Mando season 3 might bring in some more hunters,
Yeah.
some more famous ones. Because I mean, hey, they brought Boba Fett back. They can
Bosk
bring in,
is probably still alive.
I'm because like it's never you never know how long a species lives for, because like Yoda lived for like 900 years. Like
Yeah.
every species lives different, and also too, all the planets have different like time.
Oh yeah.
So like Tatooine, like the time on Tatooine, like your life, if you like say you live on Tatooine, your life expectancy drops tremendously because of the double suns. Like like imagine just one sun like beating
yeah.
down on you. Like you get like that's why Obi-Wan. That's like they don't really say this in the movie, and everybody's like, well, how did Obi-Wan from Episode 3 get to Obi-Wan from Episode 4? First off, it's the living have to live with like basically everybody he's ever known dying, and he has PTSD, and then throw living in a freaking desert.
That
with
I never
double
thought of
suns.
that.
Yeah.
Also, on in a scientific standpoint, I don't know if the Star Wars people know or had this in mind when they did this, but as you get to bigger planets that have more or just more gravity, so a bigger planet, time moves slower. So as for whatever reason, I couldn't tell you why, it just does. So like on Earth, if you have a satellite that's moving around, so it also speed, but you're having less gravity, and imagine you plant something close to the center of the Earth, both of those clocks would be just a little bit off because you're getting closer to the center of gravity, and one's moving also the speed. So I guess if one's rotating faster or moving around its star faster. So yeah, the ages would really differ on those.
All right, so we're coming up on some of the final questions here. What would you like to see from future, or what are you excited for about future projects?
The main one, obviously, Kenobi. That one, I wasn't excited. I mean, I was partly excited for it because I want to see some more Qui-Gon because he's my favorite Jedi.
Hope so.
Dude, oh, that would be awesome. Man, I mean, he wants to come back to the actor. Dude, I can't think of any actors today.
Liam Neeson?
Liam Neeson. I know Liam Neeson. I just can't think right now.
Oh,
But he wants to come back, and that'd be awesome to see him again. And also, Tatooine's a little boring, so I'd like to see if Kenobi, which he probably will, leave Tatooine and go face Vader. So I don't know if it's going to be like Episode 4 again, where he goes to some kind of... Well, he hasn't seen the Death Star up to that point, but I imagine the show kind of going as him sneaking around a ship and trying to...
a lot of people were thinking
From-
it's going to be like in a vision, like he's like meditating, like they're gonna see each other in the vision and fight in the, because I think in a comic book they do that,
Yeah,
like where he
that would be really
Obi-Wan
cool.
like meditates, and like I guess Darth Vader's meditating at the same time, and they
Yeah.
like link up or something like that, and like have a 1v1 on whatever planet they
dude, that would
fight
be
on.
really cool.
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited to see Hayden Christensen again.
He also he in some of the comic, they're not canon anymore, but he fights quite a bit of like bounty hunters. It's like Luke ends up getting into like a lot of shenanigans, and he like comes and like saves Luke from like, these different bounty hunters.
I mean,
and stuff.
if I would write it, it would probably be some kind of lesser but still large villain after Luke, and Luke doesn't know it, so then he has to protect him, like an Inquisitor or something comes after Luke.
that'd be cool.
But then Luke obviously doesn't know anything at the start of Episode 4, so it'd kind of have to be on the sidelines. But he knows of Obi-Wan, or Ben, so if he knows of him, maybe that's why Ben shows up just to check on him or also to kind of fight something off on the sidelines.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm excited for that. Also, the Ahsoka show, that's going to be awesome with Thrawn.
Yeah,
it's kind of what they're
I hope it
leading
gets
in.
more information. We don't have any information about that right
Yeah,
now.
well, it's going to be about Thrawn.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's
And-
what they're leading up to. But, and then also, I almost forgot about, what's the other big one in that kind of...
Yeah.
Oh, it was the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah. Oh,
That
yeah,
one,
yeah.
dude, that one looks cool. And he's kind of a redeemed character. So you thought of him as just a villain who wanted money. And that's a large part of it. But he also has honor. So he's a villain with honor. And now he has the other chick that that's with him. I forgot.
Finnick Shad?
Yeah.
Shan?
the
Sheehan? I don't know how to say her last name.
the bullseye shooter lady.
Oh, yeah, she's awesome.
She's really cool too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she's like the right hand woman.
He's
so that's
basically
gonna
the
be cool.
kingpin, dude.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
he
so
is. That's
dope.
going to be awesome. So he's going to be the new Fett.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
So man, I'm also really excited for Acolyte. I don't know if you've. So it's like acolytes are essentially like Sith apprentice.
Has that been announced?
Yeah. They announced it like with like it's easy to miss because like one, there's not a lot of info on it, but they released like a slew like there's Acolyte, the Lando show, Rangers of the New Republic.
That'd be cool.
And then Squadrons, but I think Squadrons is going to be a movie, like Rogue Squadron, like you talk about like. But yeah, they
Acolyte would probably be the coolest then. I
yeah
assume.
yeah.
Is it gonna be like live action or?
Yeah. It's a live action
wow.
TV show. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Okay. So then mark me down for excited.
Right. And then, what would you like to see from me in future projects? Or really, I'm gonna widen this out to not just like movies or TV shows, even video games. Like, what would you, as a fan, like to see for future stuff?
I'm like a fantasy guy, so I think kind of an older back in time deal would be good with like old Republic. But I mean like not when they first started the Jedi Order, but maybe like 100 years later or something, where you first start to see Star Wars with the Proto Packs or the Proto Sabers.
Oh yeah, that'd be dope.
That would be awesome. Maybe a little after to where they're a little bit more mobile, but I like to see how everything started and when there's more Sith running around, just so there's not just one, so they're around every corner. But there's also a lot of Jedis with some maybe forgotten abilities. That would be very cool. And forgotten places too, like any kind of or maybe they go back to a place that we've seen before that is totally different, like Dagobah. Maybe Dagobah would have had a city that's gone because
it's
so
wiped
long.
out.
So, but
Yeah,
that's why it would
cool.
be like Force sensitive or whatever. I think something like that way back in time would be cool. Whether video game, movie, it'd pretty much have to be a movie series or a couple movies. But
They could. I mean, they've done Old Republic video games, so they might redo some stuff with the Old Republic. But I think it would be cool to see it in like a TV show
Yeah.
or like. I think a TV show would be better just because like you can there's a lot of information there that you could have. And TV shows are a little bit more drawn out, and you get more than like an hour and a half movie.
Yeah.
You know. Really, I don't know if you know because like the Jedi and like Mandalorians have like a really complicated history.
oh yeah.
And I think
That would be
the
cool.
the Mandalorian Wars, where like Jedi fought Mandalorians.
Oh yeah, I read
think
a little bit about those.
that would be because like I don't know very much about that other than that they fought.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a really cool
That would
TV
be
show
great.
or movie.
I mean, like, how many Mandalorians could a Jedi take if the Mandalorians had time to prepare? Because if they're shooting those slug throwers,
Yeah.
and like, if y'all probably don't know, like the Mandalorian history. Apparently, like, of course, lightsabers deflect the laser bolts.
Mm-hmm.
So Mandalorians started using slug throwers, which were basically regular guns, and they just turn into shrapnel once Jedi tries to slice them.
they also got those. You see those shields.
Yeah, they have
on
the
their
Beskar.
gauntlets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how many Mandalorians could take a Jedi if they're fully prepared with Beskar? I mean, in an army. Because, like, they
It'd
can't
be
all
tough.
have Beskar.
It'd be tough.
So maybe, like, 2 per Jedi or 3 per Jedi. So, I mean, it's pretty evenly matched because there's not that many Jedi, but there's a ton of Mandalorians.
Yeah.
So I think they're, like, the next coolest thing to a Jedi, or the next strongest thing to a Jedi is Mandalorian.
Well, I think the key to like fighting Jedi is just like you have to make them like that was like the thing for Grievous. Like you have to make them forget that they can use the Force. Because
Yeah.
if they use their Force abilities, it's game over. Like,
Yeah.
if you're not a Force sensitive and you can't counter Force abilities, like you're done. So it's like really like getting them so preoccupied and so like off balance that they can't like Force push you or pull you or anything like
Yeah.
that. You know. I think
Honestly,
that's
like the
key.
Jedi was like more extreme. They could literally just pick them up and like, but I
Yeah.
mean it's not the Jedi way.
No, not at all. not at all. But man, I think that was really all the questions. I mean, I think we're at like an hour and a half, hour and
Yeah,
some
something
change
like
right
that.
now. So do you have anything else you'd like to add before we close it on off?
I think we could dive deeper into another like the next time
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Bad Batch and everything, but
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
that's pretty much it on the surface. I think.
Yeah, well,
touch some good points
You,
there.
you know, you're definitely gonna come back.
Oh,
on.
yeah.
We're gonna
Hopefully.
talk about more stuff. Well,
Yeah.
if you guys made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Hit the bell notification too, because I'm going to be uploading a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to do this. You see this Qui-Gon hot toy over here. That video will be up probably this week. I don't know when this video will be out, so it's going to be before this video. So, but yeah, hit that bell so you get more notifications on when I upload stuff. And as always, may the force be with you, and have a great rest of your week.